Yes, I read over 200 books a year. It sounds crazy, but I just figured out a system. And I'm going to show you how you can read more books without feeling overwhelmed, whether it's 20 books or 200 books. I'm Zoe Sky, indie romance author and book reading addict. And these tips help me stay on top of my reading goals. If you're trying to grow your reading habit or just love talking about books, hit subscribe so you don't miss my weekly recs. Most people think reading 200 books means sacrificing sleep or a social life. Not true. The secret is making reading a lifestyle, not a chore. I love reading. That's not a secret. I just wanted to scale how many books a year I was reading because some of us live in that phobia that we're going to miss out on all the good stories. And I tried to figure out a way to do it. Tell me in the comments, what's the most amount of books you've read in a year? Even if you've only read one book last year. I want to know. This is not a shaming thing. I'm proud of anybody that reads because I found out that the majority of people just don't. So my first step was I built reading into my routines. This means in the car, going grocery shopping, running errands, doing chores, cooking dinner. I'm usually listening to an audiobook. After incorporating reading into those mundane activities, I looked forward to doing them. I didn't mind going grocery shopping. I didn't loathe changing the laundry. I didn't, running through the errands and whatnot. I was more excitable because I was getting to listen to a book. If you can fit 20 minutes into your day, whether it's an audiobook, an ebook, or a physical book, that's about 12 books in a year. That's a book a month. And then you multiply that by habit stacking. Suddenly 200 books, or whatever your goal, 50 books, doesn't seem so impossible. Mix your formats. This is the best hack and it's a game changer. I'm never locked into one format. I constantly rotate between print, ebook, and audiobook. And don't let anybody tell you that one of them don't count. They all count. Listen to audiobooks while you take a walk. Do ebooks when you travel. Read a physical book on those cozy nights in. Which one's your favorite format? Print, ebook, or audio? Let me know in the comments. There's lots of ways to track your reading too. I use Goodreads, but there's plenty of other ways to do it. I like that Goodreads has a system where you can set a goal for the year, and then each book that you read, you mark off so you can keep track. I like competing against myself and doing better than the previous year. Do you track your reading or just keep it casual? All right, here's a truth bomb. Not every book is meant to finish, or it's not for you. I used to feel guilty about not finishing books, and then I came to a conclusion that if I tried to force myself through reading and finishing a book that I wasn't enjoying, that I was wasting time finding a new one I might enjoy. Now I can just DNF without the guilt. Just remember that when you stop reading a book, it just clears room for a new one that you might just love. And it doesn't mean that a book is terrible or anything. It just means it wasn't right for you. And that's okay. I also have to layer genres. This helps me avoid burnout. I love a good world-building fantasy, but if I don't mix it up after reading one, I will get burnout. A lot of times those are heavy. You have to remember a lot. So I usually like to toss in something light and then I'll go back to it. I also can't read 10 spicy romances in a row. They don't usually have so much plot and character development to hold my attention consecutively. What's your go-to palate cleanser type of book to read in between the heavier ones? And as always, I want to emphasize, it's not about how many books a year you read. I don't care if you read one book or 200 books or somewhere in between. I do want to know what book grabbed your attention. One you wanted to share, one you loved, one that you thought about reading again or you didn't want to finish, or gave you a hangover because you were so sad it ended. When you find books that excite you, you usually want to read more. So whether your goal is 20 or 200, what matters is finding ways to fit reading into your life. If this helped, hit that subscribe button. Drop your reading goal for the year below. I want to cheer you on. Or tell me about a book that you love, wanted to share, or reread below. And if you're looking for your next romance binge, check out my Finding Forever series.